take out your phone. Chris, take out your phone. Take out your phone. Take out your phone, everyone. Take out your phone. Okay, everyone. Hello! You take care of people. Very good. Take out your phone. Okay, everyone. Okay, what are you supposed to do when you take out your phone? Okay, like, comment, share. Jamie, if you have nothing to share, okay. Everyone. Okay, everybody check out your phone. If you have nothing to share, just make it very plain and simple. Just go to my page and then share that thing with me on the counter at Maggie's List. Like, just share that. It was like, if you don't know what to share, Emily, just go to my thing. That's like the funny one of me clapping my hands and everything like that. And just share. But like, comment, and share. Let me ask you, how many people, what is your goal for the day? What is your, like, how many people are you going to comment? How many people are you going to share?
5 people.
5 people a day. Imagine what would happen, Alex, if you did 5 people a day, you began a relationship with those people. It's going to work. So a lot of times we post these awesome, unbelievable videos and everything like that about a home. Kelly, that's not a relationship with someone. So I encourage you to go. It's important to do the video. I 100% agree with that. But I want to say, if you don't do the personalness, the relationship, people are going to think your video is cute and unbelievable. So please, DM, comment, share, build the relationship with the people, and we all know this, how it works. If you DM them, they DM you back, what happens to your social media?
Goes up.
Goes up. It shows up. So, okay. It's all yours, Emily.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Jack. Let's give Jack a 1 clap on 2. 1, 2. Let's try again. That's a little weak. We can do it together. 1 clap on 2. 1, 2. Good job. All right. I have a couple of things to run through, so I'm going to be quick. Bees Night. You guys are crushing it. We did not expect the event to be almost sold out already. So, to meet the demand, we are adding a second Bees Night this year.
No way!
June's going to be a busy month, so we will have the option for clients to now RSVP either on the 4th. Remember, we have a limited amount of tickets, so that event will sell out. The clients that have already RSVP'd for the 4th do not have the option to switch, so please don't present that. They can either do the 4th until it's sold out, or the second date that we are adding is June 18th. Okay? Any questions?
We get to go to the Bees game twice.
All right. The last thing on Bees Night, we are capping it at 20 groups per agent. If you already have over 20 groups RSVP'd, please do not invite them to the second night until 1, we tell you there's extra tickets, or 2, just don't do it. There's no other option, okay?
Groups are like,
Yes. Correct.
not number of tickets.
Yes, it's 20 groups. The other thing, we always do our spring t-shirt order. Did anyone see the link that Jack posted last week?
Yeah.
Yes, some. He will repost that in Slack for you guys, and we'll also send it out in the recap email. Make sure that you order your t-shirt so that we can get that ordered on your behalf. Those will be here before Bees Night. They're going to be at Elite this year. Very exciting. So keep an eye out for that and make sure that you place your order. Jack, when do you want those by?
Before the end of April.
Next week.
Sure.
Okay, we'll give ourselves a buffer. Last thing, open house signs. So we understand we have the community open house signs for you guys. We are transitioning to a more streamlined process for that. I will walk through the details with you guys about that over the next couple of weeks, but essentially we are now going to have our sign installer warehouse all of our open house signs for us. You guys will have the option to place an order for open house signs on a weekly basis. They're delivered on Friday afternoons, and we request and expect that you return them by Tuesday each week. That way, we have enough inventory with them where people can continue checking them out, and they'll be delivered in bundles of 10, so you know that you always have at least 10 open house signs for your open house. Okay?
Perfect.
If you have an open house on another day, you just let me know.
Yep, just let us know or coordinate. So with the open house checkout process, Julie had a good question. What if you're doing an open house that's not on a weekend? You can keep your open house signs longer. Just let us know so on our Tuesday check-in, we can account for that. Okay?
What happens if you have none and you want to do it during the week?
You check them out the week prior.
So are you always placing the order the week prior?
Yes. So, well, it'll be placed on Thursday, right? So if you have an open house on Saturday and on Tuesday, you place your order this Thursday. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you're doing a weekday open house, make sure you're planning in advance. So it's not Wednesday, your open house is on Thursday, and you're like, I need signs. Or another solution to that is order your own open house sign, split it with us 50-50, and you have them anytime you want. Okay? Any questions?
Can we get the link for that instead of
Yes, for the open house signs. Yes, that will be posted on TPG Stats. Our plan is to transition to this the first week of May. So over the next 2 weeks, please be helpful while we're getting this system set up. I'm going to ask for you guys to bring your open house signs back on a specific date, on a Tuesday for team meeting, so we can get everything inventoried. And I'll give Jack a shout out. He's personally buying a full commission's worth of open house signs for you guys. So, thank you so much, Jack. But we know our team has grown.
Is it 1% commission or 3%?
I think they wanted to pay 1%, but he had that objection gone. All right, last thing. We are having an Agent Insider event on May 21st in Pleasant Grove. Details about that will be coming, but we have a lot of really awesome speakers. We're going to be doing panels from agents on the team, some of our team leads. If you have agents you've worked with that you think would be a great fit for the team, send them the Eventbrite link. There's going to be a lot of tangible things they can take away and implement in their business, whether they're with TPG or not, but we want them to see your value and the value of the team. Sound good? All right.
Thanks, Emily. Let me just share. The reason I'm doing it for the open house is because I believe in that open house works. And there is nothing more exciting than putting out. Let me can I be nice for a second? If you're gonna do an open house, don't only put 10 signs out there. Like if I ever see that, I think I might go collect your sign and go put them in your car and say, like, do you really want some clients, or are you hoping no one comes? It should be a minimum in your head. I know Emily says you can only order 10, or it should be a minimum of 20. Minimum. Maximum maybe 80.
Order next 80?
80. Let me want directions from the airport. Who's ever done an open house? Okay, Johnny, stand up. How many signs do you put out? This isn't a route.
Typically 15 to 20 at least.
How long does that take you?
10, 15, 20 minutes. depends on how far the close the business you go.
So my question is this. If it's taking them 20 minutes to put 20 signs out, why would, if you're going to be at your open house and you want clients to come, why aren't you going to spend another 20 minutes putting another 20 signs out? I mean, I just, like if you're going to be there, if you're going to take your Saturday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, if you're going to take that, if you're going to sit in the open house for 3 hours and you're going to complain that no one's coming, trust me, double the amount of signs, it works.
Jack, I can only check out 10 signs at a time.
I will help you get more from this week forward. If you didn't want 40 signs, I'll handle it. Because I believe in them. So I'm getting in trouble with Emily. She's giving me the look as well. Sorry about that. The reason I'm doing that because I believe in what you do in that open house works. And let me just tell you one other thing. If you put 10 signs out, very few people notice. If you put 40 signs out, I guarantee people are going to notice. And that's all. Marketing, baby, it works. Okay, if you brought someone here today, or if there's if you're a new agent that's never been introduced, at our team meeting, if you could just stand up. All new agents. Okay.
Hello. You want to say my name?
Yeah, say your name and where you were born.
Hey, my name is Simi. I was born in India, and I moved here when I was about 5 years old, and so I grew up in Salt Lake.
Sweet. How do you like U.S.?
I love it.
Just want to make sure, like they don't. She hasn't liked it yet. They are. I'm not going to ask you where you're from, but you have something to share. Jake.
I told Jack last year I was going to Jordan, and he's like, you better sell all your stuff because it looks like you're not coming back. Okay. You came back. You want to buy my car? It's for sale if you still want to buy it. Okay. Back to open houses though. Ryan did an open house for me last year on my listing on 1100 East, and I think he put out like 20 signs, and he got his Princeton ad listing from the open house. So they work. Shout out to So I'm up here to share with you guys something I've been working on. It's not real estate related. Some of you know I've been doing a leadership program down in Vegas since January. It's changed my life. I've seen a lot of improvement and transformation within myself. The team, Atlas team, LAS 7, we are partnering up with the Embracing Project down in Vegas, and our goal is to raise $200,000 in 2 weeks to help secure a space and help people that have been sexually trafficked from the age of 18 to 24, and really help them get started on their life. So we're taking donations like laptops, things like that. We're taking monetary donations. So if you'd like to donate and make an impact and help me, because my ass is on the line, I'm trying to raise $200,000 in 2 weeks. That is the QR code. And yeah, $5, $10, $50, $100, $1,000. Take any guys. So thank you guys.
Awesome, thank you.
Give Jimmy a big hand.
Everybody, happy tax day. For those of you who don't know me, I am Jamie. I am a loan officer with Intercap Lending. And I've got a couple of updates for you. So this one has recently come up for me quite a bit, so I thought it might be a good topic just to either let you know about or just keep fresh on top of your mind. But it's when a client may have future income or they may be starting a new job. I've heard the objection of, hey, I can't get pre-approved or buy a house right now because I'm starting a new job or I just started a new job. But that doesn't mean that you can't qualify for a loan. So I wanted to just bring some general guidelines to this room just to make you guys aware of kind of what we look for when that happens. So can somebody, when they are changing jobs, get qualified? Yes, with a contract from the employer. So a contract that outlines what their compensation looks like, what their start date is, needs to be signed by all parties, but we can absolutely use that as income to qualify somebody. It does need to be on a purchase transaction, primary residence, 1 unit. That is one thing to keep in mind. But this can be for conventional FHA, VA. So for most loan programs, we can work with clients if they are changing employment. Timing-wise, this is something that the loan officer will definitely keep in mind for you. But it's cool because we can actually qualify folks off of a new contract starting up to 90 days from the note date. So you could qualify somebody off a higher income amount if they're starting a new job, even if it's 90 days in advance, or say somebody that's moving here, if they haven't started their new job yet, we can still qualify them off of that income. And then a couple of things just to keep in mind, they might need to have some financial reserves, so meaning that they've got some money in their bank account before they're going to receive their first paycheck, so that if the mortgage starts, they can make that payment. And then one other thing just to keep in mind is they can't be employed by family. But just some interesting information if you ever have clients that are in a transitional period with their job, moving here, or whatever that looks like, just reach out to us because it's not a hard no, we can't work with that. So yeah, just a little bit of information there. One other thing that I wanted to mention is, I posted about this in Slack, but Intercap, we are going to be offering a $1,500 credit for anybody that is going to be refinancing this month. So if you have clients that were previously part of like the FreeFi program, any refi clients, they didn't even have to get a loan with us to start, but we are offering a $1,500 credit for anybody who wants to refi in April. So I just wanted to plug that. And then for tomorrow, yes, tomorrow for Just Mortgages, I'm going to be diving into interest rates. Obviously a very hot topic right now. Super volatile market, so wanting to just dive into the details there, kind of what's going on. And then for anybody who's interested, just chatting about how they work, how we price it out for a client, and then the other tools that we have available, like buy downs right now, just to help make interest rates as doable as possible and payments as low as possible. So I would love to see you there at 11.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Dave. So I've asked Matt to come forward real quick. Do you have the thing? Matt, are you going to ask him a question?
Yeah, let me
Let me just say this. Everyone, if I could have your undivided attention, if you're only going to pay attention for the 5 minutes today, probably these next 5 minutes could be life-changing for you and for your client. I won't say, is it going to go on there?
That's perfect. Yep. And then what's this TV conference now?
Okay, let's just start talking.
Okay, so I got an email.
Okay, listen, please listen to this.
Super important. I got an email from a client, and I noticed the phone number was kind of weird in the email. The email was put together really well. That's what I wanted to share. But the phone number wasn't an 801 or a 385 or a 435. And I'll just read it to you. Attached to your closing statement, you need to wire to close $984,450.43. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the wiring instructions. Here's our updated wiring instructions. The email signature is the escrow officer's name, their title, and the telephone number struck me odd, right? I've noticed weird things. So I called the title company, and she's like, no, that's not one of our phone numbers. And then I dove into, because I can make a Gmail address that's like abc123@gmail.com, and it says Matthew Barrett. So I noticed that her email is correct in the signature, but the escrow officer's email is not correct in the front. So I was like, do you ever send things from a different email address? And it was .titleclosing@gmail.com. Also, Kim, right, Perry Group, was on there, and her email address was altered. And the fraudster hacked into the borrower's email, obtained the Alta settlement statement from a prior legitimate email from the closer, attached it to this, and wire instructions. And he almost lost $985,000. So, long story short, they changed their passwords, they changed their two-party authentication, husband and wife. The IT security team at the title company is making sure that if their email was compromised, and that's how they got the data to begin with, they're taking measures to fix that. But super critical, don't send emails that have social security cards, W-2s. Tell people 1,000 times, do not, make sure you validate wire instructions. And how do you validate wire instructions? What's the best way to go? But if you call this number on the email, then you're calling a fraudster, right? Like, give the cell phone number that you have of the title person's information, like their cell number, to the client. When you get the wire instructions, call the cell number, right? Or Google, you need to authenticate it via third party, or the fraudster providing the information anyway. But yeah, almost $1 million down the drain. So.
Okay, stay there, man. So I just want to plug Go Intercap and Go Local. A Rocket Mortgage in Gary, Indiana would not have caught this. They wouldn't have recognized the phone number. So I encourage you, Go Local, Go Intercap, and even share this with your client. It saved him almost $1 million. And like, if it wasn't for Matt, I wouldn't have picked it up. Because was I on the email?
No.
I wasn't on the email, so I was like, I didn't see it. So if it wasn't for Matt, my client could have wired them almost $1 million. So I encourage you, Go Local, Go Intercap, talk to your lender, get your lender behind you. It could save you $1 million. And that they would never ever see. So I appreciate you, Matt. I appreciate you finding out. All of Intercap lenders, we appreciate you. Please go to your lender, talk to them, be on a team together, because this stuff is real.
Is there a more secure way because I know that some title companies have a secure way to send wire instructions where you go into a secure email or a secure link. Should we expect that, or some, like Metro, sometimes would only text and never email the wire instructions? So what is your recommendation on this part?
Where's innovation? Why don't you come up, because you're going next. So kind of went right into it.
Yes, that's a great question. And unfortunately, there's so much wire fraud happening, and then these fraudsters are getting super smart. So we see everything across the nation, from that scenario to them hacking into fax emails, even changing account numbers on payoffs. It's insane. But yeah, taking extra measures is super important. The best advice I can give you is you're educating the client at the beginning is super important too, right? Of having this conversation with your buyer and saying, hey, there is a lot of wire fraud happening, and it's important for you to know, but also that you're calling the title company, here's their actual number, before you send any type of wire out. Because we've seen the ugly, we've seen people's lifetime savings, like, just go to the drain. And it's awful, it's sad, and it's super unfair. That's one thing. But the second part to answer your specific question, yes, we have secured emails in our system through Qualia. Like it is a secure email. We also have our specific wiring instructions in the portal with the Perry group. That way there's no questions about it. So definitely question. I think the biggest key is question the wiring instructions. And like Matt said, call either the cell phone. I would say just Google the title company's office and make sure that's their number and call them and educate your clients to call them directly, not whatever numbers on the email. Another key point too is just the email address. If you reply to all and you notice that it's like a Yahoo, Gmail, random email that's not from the corporation, that's usually a huge red flag, right? So these are some tips that might be helpful. But yes, secure email is always good, and just calling the actual entity itself, not whatever numbers on that email is super helpful.
Okay, you're good, Matt, you go sit down.
Real quick too, something super
Or
important.
do you want to say anything else by title? Or go sit down. I'm really good at it, move on. Thanks, Matt.
Tiffany are trying another title.
Super critical. One other thing in the email. So this could have been slightly more sophisticated, and it was a very sophisticated one, but let's say the email address up top, the person was smarter. There are special characters you can use that look like an R or a J. So you could replace one of the actual letters, like jack@perry.group. That J could be replaced by a special character that looks like a J, that's not a J, that is a totally different email address, but it looks exactly like an email address.
I just learned about this the other day. There's a Cyrillic letter, a Russian letter in their alphabet that is identical to our A, like our A with it's a circle with a line on the side. It's not the A with the loop at the top, like you see in typical type fonts.
Yeah.
So be extra careful. Thanks, Matt.
Of course.
Thank you. Okay.
Hello, good morning everyone. I know we've been talking a lot about Earnest, the app and link that we've been using to collect your clients' earnest money. Our team's process is to submit an email to your clients with the secure, safe, and quick link to submit their earnest money straight to Novation Title's account. It is actually safer than wiring the funds. On that note, though, because we are doing that, and that is our process, if your clients haven't submitted it, or it's a holiday weekend or a regular weekend, and you need that earnest money to quickly come to title so you can get the receipt, it's beneficial to, you guys all have QR codes. This is the specific link to send straight to Novation Title. Now, if you created an account through Earnest, the actual app, it's like a green app with a little feather, it's Earnest with 2 N's, that you can create an account and you can follow along where your like you could submit the request to your clients for the earnest, and you can kind of follow their deposit. Okay, you can see, you can send the email request to the listing agent, to the title company. So, but this link specifically here is if you're in a pinch and you need to get that earnest money over to Novation Title ASAP. I think that was all I got. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Give him a big hand.
Hi everybody. Happy Tuesday. I almost said Monday. I read an article this week. Hi Chris. Do you do CrossFit? You're looking good. It's Chris.
Kristen does.
What?
Kristen does CrossFit now.
Jack's gonna kick us off. We gotta hurry. So this article, it was talking about Zillow rankings. Salt Lake moved up 18 spots to number 10. Shout out Salt Lake. One of the big things that they emphasized was lack of inventory and high pricing. Looking at the other top 10, a lot of those were ranked in the top 10 because of their affordability. Utah, despite having really high pricing, does have a housing shortage. Builders can't build fast enough. Right now, they said we've built about 35% fewer homes this year, last 12 months, compared to pre-pandemic. So we're gonna have continued high pricing, low inventory, and high demand. So be studying Utah, pay attention to Utah. I know it's like, holy shit, everything is so expensive. I don't see it getting cheaper. Go send me an article that says otherwise, please.
With that, we wanted to remind you that we have 6 new communities coming in Salt Lake County alone this year. So they'll start coming on in the next 2 or 3 months here. Communities in cities like Bluffdale, Draper, Harriman, South Jordan, West Jordan, and West Valley. So we're really heading up north. You'll start seeing more of us up this way. So keep us in mind as we get further in the year. We'll be sure to keep you updated on all of that. Any questions for us? Anything we can help with? Thanks, guys.
What's the price point of the West Valley ones for the Dragon?
We don't know quite yet. I would guess mid to high 400s starting.
Townhouse and condo?
Yeah.
And single families.
And single family?
And some single families. So all of the single families will have third-car garages in that neighborhood too. So that'd be cool. So, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Please reach out to the Edge boys. That's kind of exciting. They're moving closer and closer to us.
Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to get up here and announce my excitement for our new office in Farmington. Chat with north that are kind of looking for a spot. We're looking to add to that team building as quickly as we can. Once we're off the ground, finished with construction, we'd love to have the agents that are here in the office. If you're servicing clients up north, stop in, say hi to us. That's all I got. Thanks for that.
Where's Dave? Okay. So, Dane, how long have you been a real estate agent for?
7 years.
How long have you been with the Perry Group?
It'll be 2 years this June.
Okay, so I called you a couple weeks ago and you said you've been doing this thing of contact. What are you doing?
Yeah, so the other week, I don't know if you guys were at the Utah County team meeting. I don't know if Mike was here or not, but it was really interesting. He said something about your phone contact list and how many transactions you can actually get out of that as a percentage rate. It really got me thinking because I'm not from Utah. I've been here for about 11, 12 years now. And I've met a ton of people. I assume a lot of us have, and just through all walks of life, right? Through the things that you do, the real estate that you transact. And I'm like, you know what? I know I've got my surgery coming up. I'm going to have time. I'm going to write down everybody in my phone contact list. And I did it very old school. I pen to paper, wrote them all down, A to Z. And then I had ChatGPT create a few different text messages, kind of a couple of different variations on how to reach out to them. And very simple, just checking in, and I just started blasting these text messages off. I'm not even through the full list, but I'm under contract on one. I'll be under contract on the second one today, and I have 2 other buyers that I'm going to be transacting in the next month, so things are happening.
Just by going through your contacts on your phone?
Good for you, dude.
That's congrats. Any questions that you want to ask Dane?
Go ahead. Quick, it was actually really good timing too because of the Bees game. So I have all these text messages that I can go back to and start inviting. And I mean, that was just within the first 2 weeks, but I've had really good just conversations in general, where my pipeline will probably be full, 6 months to a year. So my main focus this year was to focus on SOI. I did a lot of Zillow last year, and Zillow's great. I've done a few this year, but I really want to increase my SOI business, and that was kind of the best way to do it. So,
what's a real estate goal you have for 2025?
18 million in volume, and then we're going to do hopefully 200K in profit for flips.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Congrats. Okay, so Ryan, if you're afraid to text people, Ryan, if you're afraid to text people, give your phone to Tom next to you. Let Tom message them. And Tom, you're afraid to text people, let Ryan have your phone for 2 to 3 hours. Because that's the big thing, we're afraid. So just give your phone to somebody else. Okay, Drew. Okay, give big Drew, like he's walking along.
Dane and I started here on the first day, and you've now entered the old guy surgery portion of the team meeting. Okay, I have a few things that I have been assigned to cover. So Emily talked about this. I'm going to do this is actually my entire job description here at the Perry Group. I'm going to take what we decided in a meeting and then what Jack actually said in the meeting, and I'm going to try to put that all together. So here's the deal. We would love for you to take 20, 30, 40 signs to an open house, but there are 8.5 signs in the closet right now. Legitimately, I counted. There are 8.5 signs in the closet. We have a new system. The system is designed to make this really easy for you, where you can just go online, put your order in, the signs will show up, they'll be banded, they'll have your name on them, you walk in the office, you grab your signs, we know who has them, you bring them back, if you don't bring them back, we know you still have them. So it is designed to make this really easy for you, not to take control away from you, but to make it just super, super, super easy. But we can't do it with 8.5 signs. So Emily said she's going to have you bring your signs back on a specific day. If you have signs right now that you're not using, and you see the Slack messages pop up on Saturday morning like I see, it makes me cringe every time because I know Jack's about to call me and ask me if we can buy more signs, and I tell him we have bought more signs and they are gone again. If you have signs, please bring them back. Like today, that'd be sweet. People are going, I guarantee you people are going to post on Slack Thursday, Friday, Saturday and ask for signs. So if you have them, don't wait until that and say, oh, I'm in Sandy and I'm not home, but I can give you my garage code if you want to come down there before your open house in Tooele. Just bring your signs back, okay? We need them back so we can create this system so we can get them all to our sign company so that they can actually have signs to deliver. Because, again, 8.5 signs, we're like, Julie, here's your half sign for your open house. And then Jack's going to get mad at you, he's going to get mad at me, and he's going to say something in team meeting, and we're going to, we're back where we've always been. So please bring your signs back. Okay, a question came up in Slack about, I have 2 buyers looking at the same house. They might both make an offer. What do I do? So I weighed in there, but I think it kind of got buried in the replies. So the explanation here is you're on a big team. If you're not comfortable for some reason, reach out to a friend on the team. I know there are a lot of people that are like, hey, I'll take your client. You're not taking their client. You're just helping them write an offer, okay? But if that was my 2 clients, it would be really hard for me to choose which client I passed off. And I think the client would feel passed off if they were like, hey, no, we've been working together for a year, but now I have somebody else interested in this property and I'm gonna write their offer. So here is Johnny Harris. He's gonna write your offer for you. Super nice guy, you're competing against me. Good luck. That feels awful. That feels awful. So as far as a broker standpoint goes, the rule here is disclose to both buyers that you have 2 clients interested. Tell both buyers that you are not going to communicate any details of their offer to the other client. Tell them both the same thing. Really easy way to do this is if you talk to the seller's agent and they say, here's what's important to them, write it down and send the same thing to both people. Make sure you communicate all the details and everything you know to both people. I mentioned in my reply, you might know you're writing a losing offer based on the other offer that you wrote. That's okay. Your goal, as in any highest and best, is to make sure that you know that you work with your client and you write the best offer they can write. So if they can go up another $1,000, have them go up another $1,000. And that goes for if you know you're writing a winning offer. You also don't know if there's going to be another offer that comes in against your 2. So treat it as you would any other. I mentioned too, back in the day, we would release 40 townhomes on a Friday and we would have 200 different buyers offering on them. And I would spend my whole day Friday going through them. I saw some really weird stuff where offers were lined up from one buyer's agent, $1 at a time with different clients. That would lead me to believe that he had a priority and he wanted certain people to win, so he slotted them in $1 above the people he didn't want to win. That's really bad. I told him that was really bad. So don't do that, but that is the rule. There's not a form you have to fill out. Just communicate to them. I do have another client interested. I'm not going to share any details of our negotiations with the seller. I'm going to share everything with you that I share with them. Let's write the best offer possible. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, last, a little celebration. This is on your handout, but I want to recognize some people and their anniversaries with the team. So, 1 year, Viv, Gail, Jack Gucker, Renee and Jake in Utah County, Edry and Thomas. If you're here, stand up and wave. 1 year with the team. Jack Booker's waving in the office, and I appreciate it. 2 years, Mikkel and Mayar. Mayar, stand up. 2 years. 3 years, Jacob Lloyd and Savannah Grimes. If you're here, stand up and wave. And then the OGs of the month and the year. 4 years with the team as of this month. Micah Banks. Whitney Benson. Big Darren. And Trey Williams. Congrats.
Johnny, are you ready? That's kind of at 4 years. That's a long time, Darren. Hey, I saw Darren at the airport Thursday. For those that wanted to know.
Oh, no, I'm just gonna. Hey, he's like. 5 clap on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, almost there. How's everyone doing? Alright. Have any of you used the deep research function of ChatGPT? No.
Tell us about it.
Had nobody's used it?
The ChatGPT.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
Don't make me ChatGPT about it.
Okay. So deep research is an amazing part of ChatGPT, where it basically, you take a single prompt that you have, if you're wanting to figure out information on something, and you give it that prompt, and then it basically lays out a plan of how it's going to figure out that information and continues prompting itself until it gets the correct information. And what is so powerful about this is that it's constantly checking itself. It's meant to function as an ability to write a research paper, but it gets you extremely accurate information on something that you're looking for. And the area that this is really helpful on is, like, let's say that you were wanting to figure out whether or not sending mailers out was a viable lead option. If you put in the questions that you, like the parameters for the industry, or the, not the industry, the area that you're working in, or like the homes that you sell, it will be able to go in depth of looking for data-backed sources, finding out exactly what you would need to do in order to make that viable solution so that you could figure out for yourself whether or not you want to try it. The one part about it is you don't want to ask it something and then expect an answer right then. It's basically, when you ask it something, it's going to take maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, it takes a very long time. Let me find out how long this one took. Okay.
Just ask it.
How long did this take? I'm pretty, so with this one I just shared the URL to it. I did it on my own account, but with this one I'm pretty sure it took 16 minutes, and with the this other question that I asked here, it took around 12. I have it running right now just to show you an example of, I hadn't tried this until I thought of it right before. And I thought to ask it right before. Cameron actually, in Utah County, made me think of asking it this question, that if you just ask it for the deal of the week, it should be able to find you a deal of the week for something that like was actually listed somewhat soon. And So obviously you'd say it's in Salt Lake, and you can see how thorough it's being over here as it's continuing to find information. And it's also really weird to see how it like refers to itself. So it will sometimes look at you, the person on the computer, as its assistant. I don't really know why it gets confused on its identity. But it's fascinating because it will just keep asking questions to see if something, like with this one, like I'm pulling together not just details on a single family home and blah, 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 but also examining nearby listings, including just listed near that address. I would imagine that if you narrowed this down, you would be able to get it to a point where you'd be able to, like, let's say on Monday morning, you put in a prompt and then in 10 minutes you could have something ready to go that you would send out. Then one other, like, just random area where I'll show you the actual results was in Utah County. They were wanting to know what the best time was to post. And as you can see, this is extremely thorough. Just a random part, and Jack, you'll like this because you're all about Instagram. Depending on the type of content that you post, there's better times and days to post it, which might be obvious. But I wouldn't have thought that if everything is all within real estate. So property listings would be from 10 to 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Educational would be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I thought that was interesting because it could mean that at the point where you're done like learning about something that you're going to go do throughout the day, it's probably ending by 1 p.m. so you're not interested in educational content beyond 1 p.m. Where you will be interested in property listings as it continues, as the day continues. But yeah, so I just wanted to show a couple examples just of everything that I found. So like one of the ones that I asked was AI tools for social growth. The area that I use this the most in is if there's ever anything where I'm wanting to know what an expert would answer with. If I was like, what is the best tool for, in this one, social growth, AI tool for social growth? I don't know that. And I would have to find somebody that had experience in this directly, and I don't know that I know anybody that knows that. And this actually gets you exactly to the answer that you're looking for in very, very much in depth. And all that you have to do to get it to do this is when you go to create a new conversation, you just click deep research, you ask it something, it will always have a follow-up, and then you just provide it the more details that it asks, and then, yeah.
Does it not, if you hit deep research, does it not have memory enabled? Because I just tried it while we were doing something, it's like, what industry are you in again?
So, what's weird is the initial question, it doesn't have the memory enabled. You can follow up though, and it will have the memory enabled.
So like,
I don't know why.
Explain it, or if I just respond wrong, I'll be like, oh, suddenly I remember.
Like a blank slate.
Only on deep research. I don't know why it is with deep research, but it does do that where it doesn't know who you are if you started off with deep research. Once it's done researching, then when you follow up with it, it has its memory of you. Yeah. That was a good question. Yeah, I randomly came across that when I was, because it, as I pointed out, it knows myself and my fiance very well. And when I started off the question of being like, why does Laura have migraines? Something like that. And it was like, I don't know who Laura is. And yeah, it only happens when deep research is enabled on the first question for some reason.
So then do you have to explain who Laura is, or if you just respond at all, it's like suddenly it now knows who Laura is?
No, when it's done and you follow up, it now has all the memory like built back in. I don't know why.
Can you deep research why that is?
Yeah, that's it.
Why do you have amnesia?
That's a good question.
Michael, oh, sorry.
Hi, everybody. How is everybody? Lighter, clapper. Okay. We are getting into, I think, relatively I feel like I use fear-mongering words a little too often, so I think we're getting into weird territory, inventory-wise. What is inventory at? When's the last time it's been at that?
September.
And then before that?
Years. I've always been go back to
Okay, everybody go mute for a second, and then Scott gave the exact correct answer. So what was it?
last fall, it hit 11,000, and before that, the MLS doesn't go back far enough.
Okay, last time it hit 11,000 was 2017, and I'm going to reference an article. 2017 was not a bad market by any means. 2017 was a really good high transaction market, but a couple years before was not super great. So I'm going to go through basically how I am talking with buyers and agents, and then I'm going to go through a really quick stats presentation. So next slide. Okay, this is what I do with every buyer when you're not in a seller's market. When you hit inventory levels of 11,000 plus, it starts to get relatively dangerous on the deals your clients are buying. And I think really cool, a lot of agents on this team have never, like I don't have a client who bought a house at any time who has ever lost money. Whether it's 2021, 22, you bought in June of 2022, and it's kind of how I go through things. So know the days on the market. If it's anything past day what, sellers are getting nervous.
30.
I would argue day 5. I would argue.
Not where we live, Michael.
Who just said that?
Me. Day 5, that's insane for the rest of us though.
I just saw a house reduce 25,000 on day 8.
Why'd you say that?
Because homes are sitting longer unless it's a stellar deal or super unique.
Okay, I would argue you're reasonable, highly educated, a calm person. I would say most sellers, yes you, most sellers, no matter the market or area, unless it's a really high priced home. I'm talking like multi-million. The expectation is that your home is getting traction, showings, and then eventually an offer. If you're going past, like I know me, if I list one of my flips and it has one showing in the first 7 days, I am tripping. Like, not a good sign, in my head at least. And Hannah could be completely right. But yes, things take longer. But the reality is it's a very emotional thing. So for me, that sweet spot is really 14 to 21 days. I would argue it's day 5 is when sellers get a little uneasy. Look for price drops that are repetitive. If you have a seller that's price reducing 10,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 based on a pattern, that is, they want out quickly. Run the comps on every single house. Okay, this is probably the biggest one that you can find out through agent communication, is understand the seller's motivation. So like when a house sits vacant, that either means 2 things. That either means it's something like a landlord, where they could have that for years, and they really don't care, or they have 2 mortgages and they're panicking. Try and figure out that actual story. Ask about offers and agent feedback. Next slide. Okay, you all know how to prepare a clean, strong offer. Next slide. Okay, do things how you want and how you're taught, but this is, I think, what I do in a high inventory market. And I think, like, look to Edge. How is Edge selling houses right now? $499. $499.
Good luck.
Credit, concessions. What is Edge not doing? Lowering the price. So I'm not talking about sellers right now. But I am saying, I would say, asking for a $15,000 closing cost for a buy down plus a $10,000 price reduction is a lot more understandable to a seller. It's being told what they need to do, rather than asking for what? A $25,000 price reduction. You need to write that addendum to where you can reduce the price if you want. Ask your coach how to do that. Just for a loan's sake, I'm a big believer in, and this is like, if your buyers are a little more cash heavy, sellers don't want to do anything. That's a nightmare. It so rarely works out where a seller is repairing things, they have money, and it's post hard earnest money. So I think, like for me, if I had a $1,000 fix, and I have subs, and I could do it in a heartbeat, I would rather take maybe a $2,000 credit and just not deal with that. As is addendum. I was going to go down the rabbit hole, but for the sake of time, let's keep going. Okay, present like a pro. I include a cover letter, agent-to-agent communications, set expectations with your buyers beforehand. This is what I'm going to go into next, and I think this is really important. So remember, set expectations. This last point, I think, is single-handedly. Angie Nelden, really successful Sotheby's agent, a friend. It is she does it better than, I would argue, just about anyone. She'll call me. It'll be day 2, and she has some power of saying like, hey, my client doesn't need you one bit. But it's not that way at all. Like it's a power over me. She can really communicate and get what she wants out of me, but she's always communicating like, it'd be cool if we get a deal done, but like my client doesn't really care that much if we do. And I think when you're in a situation where you're not multiple offers, that I would just tell your buyers, and as an agent, more than anything, I would have that mindset towards the other agent. We can walk, we can walk, we can walk. Okay, next slide.
That's awesome. That's actually awesome.
Thanks, my man. Okay, interesting. Everybody's saying the market is, I think, pretty good. These are the stats. From now until the same date in 2023, 9,350 homes sold. I think we collectively say the market sucked in 2023. In 2024, we had 9,742, and as of this morning, this number's probably gone up a little bit. It's 9,159. The reality is we are in a tough market with increasing inventory, which is a gold mine for your buyers. Next slide. Okay, this got blasted. I think it was Wall Street Journal 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Was it?
I believe it was.
Okay. 10 states at risk of recession. Florida number 1, Colorado number 2, Utah number 5. That's a really scary tagline. What do people think recession? Recession typically means horrible. I would argue 3.5% doesn't mean much. Just understand negotiating. This, I think, is a pretty alarming graphic, though, on slide number 2, or picture number 2. From 2021, aside from a brief glimpse from 23 to 24, we are increasing inventory rapidly.
That shows our
Which
growth,
one's
though.
inventory? Can you explain it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Price cut.
Price cut and inventory is like a dead match graph on this article. So thank you for saying that, Julie or Hannah. So in 2017, about 10% of homes had price reductions. 1 in 4 houses are now having a price reduction. And if you look at this graph, I don't think it slows down. Like, go back to the slide real quick. The inventory slide. Okay. This is where it gets slightly alarming. And this is just where it's like, this is gold for your buyers. This is not one bit to scare you. This is really, really good for your buyers. You have homes are staying stagnant Inventory is rapidly increasing. Now go to the next slide. This price deductions, if home sales don't continue to go up, which I don't think anybody's expecting them to, and inventory is continuing to go up, what should theoretically happen to price cuts?
They should go up.
Should continue to go up.
Michael, can I ask a question?
So speak to sellers.
Yeah.
We're excited about our buyers, but speak to our sellers. We've got a lot of sellers.
Yep, 100%. This is what the next couple slides are.
Can I ask a quick clarifying question?
Yep.
Is the 1-year projection column what they feel like home prices are doing, or they're just going to say that they're subject to the potential recession? Because recessions normally strengthen home prices.
This is in regards to home prices.
Okay, so they're thinking Utah would potentially go after that.
Yeah, so the title of that article was, I think, 10 states most at risk from recession of home prices going down. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is where it's really, I'll go off memory. This is really interesting. This is homes from 600 to 900,000 sold in East Salt Lake City, sold in the past 7 days. One sold for 30,000 under, one sold for 70 over, 5 over, 11 over, 30 under, asking 30 over. So I think to Julie's question, what are you telling sellers? Anything can happen. And I would be really careful with the words of like, we price it right, it's going to sell quickly. I don't know if that's true. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so in the past 7 days in East Salt Lake County, the average price home has only sold for 1% under ask. That shocked me. In the past 30 days, from homes from $1 million to 1.2, they only sold for 2.7% under ask. So what does that mean for your buyers? That if you're not getting a 3% deduction, you're probably losing. That's what that probably means. As a seller, when you get an offer and you're listed, to Julie's question, if you're listed at $1 million and you get an offer at $950, what does the data tell you you should counter at?
975?
970. 975, a 2.76% reduction.
But these numbers aren't including asking concessions, right?
That's a really good question. I just pulled this
Part of our
down.
negotiating right now
Yeah.
is, like, most of the time we're getting 10 to 25,000.
Yeah.
I don't work in like the same market that you do, but that's like, instead of asking to come under this price, I will just ask for concessions instead, because my buyers need so much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say for the sake of this, I would say this purchase price, you don't often see a 2 to 3% concession. I'm completely going on my own deals there, but that is a really good point that you just made. Okay, and the last one, and I think for it, we are aside from like the very bottom price or median average, luxury is a lead indicator of what happens in the pandemic. 2 to 3 million, can anyone guess what it's selling for under ask right now?
Say your question again.
Okay, from 2 to 3 million, what is the average price that a home is selling under asking price for all homes pulled in Salt Lake? 10.76. Right now. Yeah, in the past 60 days. So, 10%. Yeah. In the event you get a buyer who pays asking price in the $2 to $3 million mark, tough. And then also, I do want to congratulate Julie out of the 30 homes I pulled, Julie was one of only 3 to sell a $2 million home for asking price. Do you, I think that I'm going to finish. Do you feel like you priced that right, aggressively?
I felt we were expecting 50 days on market. That was typical for the Cove at that price point with the comps. I think that we beat the market. We were early in the spring, which spring doesn't start in April, spring starts in January, and we had a ton of buyers go through, but I'm still working with those buyers, looking for something similar to that in that price range.
It's also mid-century, wasn't it?
It was mid-century, but it needed a lot of work, it had some weird quirks to it.
People go nuts for that though.
So, and we had multiple people. We didn't actually get multiple offers because they shut down once we got a really good offer. But we did have multiple people ready on it.
And how long were you listed for?
We went under contract in 5 or 6 days.
Okay, so I think what Julie just said is the exact point like I'm trying to make. Julie sold that home for asking price, which is massive props to her. In the same line, she also said, we expect this home to sit for 50 days. And so...
They did ask for 70 in concessions, which we did not give them. We gave them 20.
Cool. Yeah. So I think it just goes to the point of you are an advisor who should go off data, but at the end of the day, real estate is weird. You don't exactly know what's going to happen deal to deal. But the only thing I would say is it's again, what Julie just said, she felt she beat the market. We are going into that territory of, like, if you advised your client in an aggressive way in mid-2023, they are upside down right now. And so I would just have those conversations. More than anything, is this real estate should be a 5-year game. Over the pandemic, it became a 6-month game, 12-month game. Go off the data. What is really cool that it used to be really hard to run, how I do it is I get on the MLS, I go brief report if I'm trying to look for data, I copy it, I paste it into ChatGPT, and I say, tell me list to sale ratio, and it spits that out a lot quicker than any graphs. Any questions on more? Yo.
So, based on the data, are you saying that maybe you'll have negative appreciation?
Maybe. I don't see how, and like Jack's gonna get up and say, the market's amazing in Utah. I think we hit 15,000 active homes this year. I don't reasonably understand how the market can go up. I've also said that for 5 years. So.
I mean, think of how many sellers we really have. I was talking to Spencer, he has a bunch of listings, I have a bunch of listings that are just sitting there ready to go on.
Yep.
And there's a lot of inventory ready to go in, and it's sitting.
I won't say anything, all I'll just say is this. How much did I buy my house for?
75,000.
70. I bought my house for 70,000. All I
Tell your
know
clients
is
to hold on to their house for 50 years. That's not enough.
I bought it for $70,000 in '88, and there's a great real estate agent on our team. His name is Michael. Says my home is worth more than $1 million. All I could say is, I'm glad I did. When's the best time to plant a tree?
Now.
20 years ago. When's the second best time? Now. When's the best time to buy a house? 40 years ago. When's the second best? Today. So, hey, we got food from Abetta's out there. I asked you to do one thing. Is that you will sit down with someone that you don't know very well and pick their brain, build the relationship with them. Everyone here, we thank you enough. Emily, thanks for organizing everything like that. Hey, you're part of something that we're doing. We appreciate each one of you. Please grab a bunch of food before we leave. Thanks, everyone.